On this path of Atma Nirvriti, we are moving into Ajatavada today. Yeah? What is Ajatavada? I'll revise again for the people who don't know Sanskrit. Do you remember we did the 3 levels of Advaita Vedanta? First we started with Advaita level 1, which was Srishti Drishti Vada. Yeah, where you said, I am conscious. Where you separated I and you separated consciousness. As if consciousness was a small little part in I, and I precede consciousness. Means I come first. I, this body-mind complex, the Srishti is first, and inside that there is one little dot of consciousness. So I say I am conscious. Yeah, that was level 1, Srishti Drishti Vada. We move from there to level 2, Drishti Srishti Vada, where we started recognizing, oh, it's not that this Srishti or this creation or this body-mind complex is before the consciousness. Actually, both arise together and both fall together. That was level 2, Drishti Srishti Vada. From chapter 7 onwards, Atmananda moves into Ajatavada, Advaita level 3. Means what? Means there is only consciousness. There is nothing else. There is only consciousness. Yeah? So today is your introduction into pure Ajatavada. Atmanirvriti, chapter 7, the origin and the dissolution of the world. Jagathinde Ulapatti Vilayangal. So in this chapter, Atmananda provides a very clear understanding how the world manifests and dissolves. What is the origin? Yeah? And what does it dissolve back into? So we will use the same example that we know, that is our direct experience. We will not go with theory, yeah? Not with blind belief, not with manyata, but that which is my direct experience. So every night I go into deep sleep. When I go into deep sleep, there is no sense of I, there is no sense of me, there is no sense of myself. There is no sense of a person only. This person called Ekta is not there. The sense of Ekta, the wife, Ekta, the daughter, Ekta, the sibling, Ekta, the teacher, Ekta, the professional, Ekta this, Ekta that. We have lots of these taglines. Yeah? Those definitions of the person are not there. This is everybody's own direct experience. Yeah? There is no sense of a person when I am in deep sleep. There is no I there. Because it is devoid of a world, because it is devoid of the mind, it is devoid of the physical body, because it is devoid of the sense of I am, I just have an assumption that the body was still lying on the bed. Do you see this? This is my assumption. Why? Because when I wake up next morning and somebody asks me, how did I sleep? I say, I slept peacefully. I slept so soundly last night. Because of this conviction that I have, that I slept soundly, I know I slept peacefully, I have an assumption that I was lying in bed. Do you see this? This is not my direct experience. In my direct experience, do I really know that there is a body lying on the bed? No. What is my direct experience? Nothingness. Do you get it? Now you have to start working very carefully towards recognizing the difference between my real experience and my assumptions. And now start segregating them out. Start separating them out. This is called the application of viveka, the power of discrimination. Yeah? This is my experience. This is my assumption. Very clear? This is my assumption that I was lying on the bed all night. This is my direct experience that I am nothingness. When I am in deep sleep, at that moment, there is nothingness. There is no I. So it's even wrong to say, I am in deep sleep. Correct? Yeah. So what should you actually say? There is nothingness. In deep sleep, there is nothingness. It's wrong to even say, in deep sleep, I was in nothingness. Do you see that difference now? So now we come to our direct experience. In direct experience, there is no physical body, no mental thoughts, no feelings, and there is no perception of sight, sound, taste, touch, smell. There's complete peace, complete equanimity, no sense of I. There is the void. Yeah. I am not the void. Now we change our language. There is the void. Someone asked Atmananda, where and when and how do I see me? He said, I see me where the where is not. I see me when the when is not. I see me when I see me not. This gives you a glimpse of what Ajatavada is. So in deep sleep, I am closest to my nature, where there is no I. So with this understanding, this background, we'll move to the first verse. Drishyatvam bodhamatrathil aropichal vijaramam chindakyu sakshiyai nilku manneram jnanajidashramam. Knowledge objectified is thought. Then the I remains as the witness of thought. So let's understand this first verse. There is just the void in deep sleep. This is my direct experience. I move from this void of deep sleep towards dreaming, towards waking every day. Now we are going to dissect our own experience. What we experience every morning. This is every morning. Shloka 7.1 all the way to 7.4 is the morning process. So every morning, when arising from the deep sleep, there is simply the beingness. Sat, beingness. Yeah? S-A-T, Sat, beingness. Yeah? This beingness is there. This beingness has a seed of knowledge. Why is it a seed right now? Because there is no knowledge manifested at this point. Is there any knowledge here? No. There is nothing to know. That is what is meant by knowledge. There is nothing to know. There is no body to know. There is no world to know. There is no thought to know. There is no feeling to know. There is no sensation. There is no thing here. That is why that potentiality of that knowledge to sprout is in a seed form. So this is called the seed of knowledge. In Sanskrit, it's bodh matra or jnana matra. Very clear? So now if you look at the first line of the Malayalam shloka, Malayalam is very close to Sanskrit, so you will see bodha matra. Do you see that? Yeah. So bodha matra means it itself is the seed of knowledge, this beingness. Yes. So we already have discussed what is the meaning of the seed of knowledge. One, it has the potentiality of the upcoming dreaming state and the upcoming waking state, which means it has the potentiality of thought, feeling, sensation and perceptions to arise. Potentiality means they can come up. The potentiality of the leaves, the fruit, the flowers, the tree, the potentiality of the entire tree is hidden in the seed. Like that, only the potentiality of the waking state, the dreaming state is all hidden in this seed, in this bodha matra. That is why it is called knowledge itself. So right now, it is just simply beingness, Sat. Nothing else has happened. In the state of deep sleep, there is just Sat, just beingness. This same beingness has the function of knowingness. When a thought arises, the same beingness does the function of knowingness. It knows the thought. When there is nothing to know, then there is just the beingness. So, beingness is called Sat. Its own quality of knowingness is called Chid. There is also another term used instead of Chid, Pramata. Pramata is used by Adi Shankaracharya. Pramata means the knower, the one who knows. And the object that is known is called Prameya. So remember, the knowingness has not yet come up. We are still at the beingness stage. In this beingness, there is no sorrow. There is no joy also. There is no mind. There are no thoughts, no feelings. There is no sense of a physical body, which means there are no sensations. Sensations equal to physical body. Yeah. So there is no sense of physical body, means there are no sensations. It is devoid of the world also. There is no world. Means there is no perception of sight, sound, smell, taste and touch. The beingness is even devoid of saying I. It does not say I. Yeah? So even if in many scriptures they talk about a real I, the universal I, remember the universal I which they are talking about again does not say I am the universal I. It's just poetry again. So it's best not to say I at all. There is no I there at all. This beingness soon has the knowledge of itself. Consciousness becomes conscious of itself. So what does it do? It objectifies itself. What is the meaning of objectify? The moment I separate myself out and see myself or know myself, I have made myself an object. So the consciousness objectifies itself. That is the sense of I am, or that is the birth of the I thought. It is a thought. Yeah? So, knowledge objectified is thought. This is how the first sense of होने का एहसास, the sense of being. Who has the sense of being? I have the sense of being. There is already a duality created there. Consciousness is conscious of itself. Yeah? That is the birth of the thought I am. That is the first line of the first verse. Knowledge objectified is thought. Remember, there is still no awareness of body, mind and the world yet. This is just the birth of the sense of I am. In other words, I remains as the witness of the thought. So it is the birth of the witness consciousness. Yeah? So from this pure consciousness, from the state of being, now the witness itself is born. The I thought is born. The sense of I am is born. And how was it born? Consciousness became aware of its own self. Is this very clear? The sense of I am itself is an objectification of the consciousness. Objectification means what? The subject is consciousness and the object is also consciousness. I am aware that I am aware. I am that I am. This is the meaning of the statement from the Bible. I am that I am. So is the first verse clear? Knowledge objectified is thought. Then the I remains as the witness of thought. What is a thought? Here it is just an I. Now this is very experiential. You experience this every morning. It's just that you're not very aware. The more you become aware, the more you work on being more and more conscious, you will realize that yes, I can recognize this. There is a natural distance between the actual witness consciousness and the thought that says I am. Because it's a thought. Consciousness does not speak. Consciousness cannot say I am. It's a thought that arises and says I am. Let's experiment now. Take the stand as the witness, as the awareness. Take a step beyond the body and beyond the mind and just rest as the witness or the awareness. Now say in your mind, I am. Say it a few times. Did you observe that I, the witness, am witnessing the arising and falling of the thought I am? It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same sense that you have every morning. In the twilight between the deep sleep state and dream state, this knowledge of yourself gets objectified as an I thought or I sense. It's not even a thought really, it's a sense. Just होने का एहसास. There is a distance between the actual witness consciousness and the thought that says I am, or that feeling of I am. When we were ignorant, we had no idea that we could take a stand as the witness or awareness. At that time, we could never see this distance between the witness and the thought. Now that we have learned to take the stand as the witness, we start recognizing that there is a natural distance between I, the consciousness, and the thought I am. The consciousness never says I am. The consciousness only knows that the thought I am arose and fell. Let's move to verse 2. Sakshinyānenu kānāre Chindayennodu chītamam Chindapon ennurappichu Jivanakyunu jivigal. Without my being seen as the witness, thought is joined to me, and I am made the thinker by living beings. In ignorance, the consciousness that is conscious of itself forgets itself. Now, because it forgets itself, the distance that we were talking about between the witness consciousness and the thought, that distance is merged, it's collapsed. And because it forgot itself, because this distance is collapsed, what happens? The consciousness thinks, I am this thought. The consciousness assumes itself to be the I thought. The consciousness assumes itself to be the sense of I am. It assumes itself to be the thinker of the thought. So let's read second verse again. Without my being seen as the witness, thought is joined to me, and I am made the thinker. Very clear? Consciousness suddenly forgets itself. It has an amnesia attack. It forgets itself. The distance between the witness consciousness and the I thought collapses. It assumes that I am this thought. The thought is joined to me. That is the meaning of it. It assumes that I am that thought, and then it becomes the thinker. Clear? Such is the journey from I am to I am the thought to I am the thinker. This is the birth of the notion I am the mind. So when there is that sense of I am the mind, you still don't know there is a body lying on the bed. Remember, we are talking about our own pure, direct experience of every morning. This is progressive steps, how you wake up in the morning. So right now, you have just become the mind. That's it. The consciousness has forgotten itself and assumed I am the mind. Then a chain of thoughts gets attached to that I am. It's very blurry. There is no sense that you can make. Maybe there are some images arising, maybe there are some words or sound in your own mind. There is no clear picture. There is no clear picture. The clarity is missing. Soon the thoughts become clearer. Soon you start dreaming a clear dream. It takes some time, but that is how slowly you become the thinker of n number of thoughts. First you were just the thinker of the I thought. Now the I gets attached to whatever images, ideas of the mind, whatever impressions. First there were blurry images, and then these images become clearer and a dream comes up. Now you have entered the dreaming state. We did in chapter 6, if you remember. Consciousness arises first, then perception arises. Consciousness precedes perception. Yeah. He's now dissecting it for you. How? Till now there was only consciousness. And now there is perception of whatever your dream is, sight, sound, taste, touch, smell. All those perceptions are arising afterwards. In fact, even that sense of I am is a perception of I. Perception of a thought. So, consciousness precedes perception is something that I experience every morning. Yeah, we have moved from the deep sleep state to the dreaming state. Now thoughts start arising one after the other, and you have a firm conviction, I am the mind. And whatever thought comes up, an image is created of that thought. Very clear? Yeah. Now you will understand 7.3. Chindikyunnavvane thanne drashtava kunnu chindayo avvanu drishyamai tiran sthularubam varikeyai. And subsequently, the thinker is made the physical perceiver, and then the corresponding thought becomes a gross object. So say you are all in your dream state. You are the thinker. Yeah, you're seeing these dreams. You have not woken up yet. You have not come into the waking state yet. You're just in the dreaming state. Then in this dreaming state, a blurry kind of thought, a body thought arises. Maybe the thought is, I am feeling cold. This thought of I am feeling cold actually objectifies into a sensation. And you feel cold and you pull the blanket over, turn around and again go back into your dream. Happens to all of us? Now read that. The thinker is made the physical perceiver. The thinker, till now I am the mind. The thought arose, I am feeling cold. That thought got objectified into a sensation. You became the physical perceiver of the sensation. You pulled the blanket up more and you turned and again went back to the dream. You're still in the dreaming state. The corresponding thought, I am feeling cold, it became a gross object. You, the thinker, have now become the physical perceiver. I, the physical perceiver, now perceive the corresponding thought, I am feeling cold, as a physical sensation. You're seeing the difference between just a thought, I am feeling cold, and the physical sensation of feeling cold. Yeah. So that is how you, the thinker, have moved from the thinking position to the perceiving, physical perceiving position. Yeah. And thought has moved to sensation. The sensation is born after the thought. This has also been explained very beautifully by the Buddha. Yeah. So those who've done Buddha know this. There is the thought and then there is the sensation. Yeah. There is sanya and then there is vedana. So similarly, here first there is the thought and then there is sensation. Sensation is born after the thought. Then that thought becomes a gross object called the physical body. There is no real physical body. This is just thought objectified. Thought gets objectified and becomes a sensation. Thus, the sense of I am the body is born. Remember, you are still not awake. Until now, there was no sense of I am the body. You were in the dreaming state where it was I am the mind. Here, at this point, there is the birth of the assumption I am the body. Now you start moving from the dream state to the waking state. It brings us to 7.4. So now you have that sensation, I am the body. That's when you realize I am lying on the bed. But this has still not become clear. He will explain even how that becomes clear in 7.4. Iprakaram jagat thaki tirthumam jiva rashigal ennayorade samsara sagarathil kidakkayam. Thus, living beings make of me the world, and ignoring me live in bondage. So you are still dreamy when you make that false assumption, I am the body. Your body is lying in bed. Yeah? Maybe you start experiencing some soreness, a crick in the neck, or some soreness in the back. This strengthens the belief I am the body. The idea of the body lying in bed is simply a thought. This thought got objectified and a physical sensation of a solid body lying on a solid mattress. This sensation was born. Now, the solid body sensation is the birth of the assumption I am the body. And the solid mattress sensation under the body is the birth of the assumption I am the body in the world. Thus, the world is born. This gives birth to your waking world. So let's read the verse again. Thus, living beings make of me the world, and ignoring me live in bondage. Let's revise the progression right from the beginning. Knowledge objectified is thought. Thought objectified is sensation. Sensation objectified is the physical body and the physical world perception. That is how you start perceiving the world through the five senses of sight, sound, taste, touch, smell. The entire humanity is unaware of this daily morning journey from the consciousness to the world. They think that the world is everything and they ignore the consciousness. Yeah, but consciousness is the root. That is the seed from which this tree is born every morning. And it goes back every night also. Goes back to that seed. They are unaware of this. And they live in bondage. Trying very hard that this dream world should make me happy. But you're not going to the root from where this dream world has arisen. And it is your own direct experience. You don't have to go outside anywhere to know this. Yeah. Thus, living beings make of me the world, and ignoring me, they live in bondage. Now, what does he mean by bondage? Living in the wrong assumption that I am this body-mind in this world. This is bondage. Because if till the time you have this belief that I am this body-mind in this world, you will be stuck to the thirst to procure happiness from this person, from this thing, from that thing. And you will not get it. Why do you not get it? Again, look at your own dream. In the dream, can the dream character say, I don't want happiness from this girl, I want happiness from that other woman? The dream character cannot dictate the story because the dream belongs to the dreamer. Yeah? This is bondage. Till the time you assume that you are the body-mind living in the world and you feel that your husband, your wife, your child, your money, your mansion can give you happiness, you will be in bondage. What is liberation? This dream character waking up and recognizing, no, there is just the consciousness. Every morning, this world just manifests out of that seed of consciousness, and every night it goes back in. That is liberation, becoming free of the wrong assumption. Yeah? And figuring out the true nature of the self. Figuring out that there is only nothingness. There is only consciousness. There is only the void. Not the body, not the mind, not even I. That is liberation. Yeah. And Atmananda did not end it there. He also told you how to get to that liberation. How? Verse 7.5. Aropavatiya yavana Jagal Brandi Nashi Chudan Swaswarubathil Ninnidan Apavaddham Bajikenam. The illusion of the world, which comes about by these successive superimpositions, can be removed only by going back along the same path. Right there is your solution. And you go back the same path every night. That is also your own direct experience. Every night you go back. How? This is the waking state. You go through the state till whatever 10, 11 in the night, whatever time you are awake. Then you go and you lie down in the bed. What do? You close your eyes to the perception of sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. So sight, sound, taste, touch, smell is gone. Yeah. Now we are doing our journey exactly in the opposite direction, back all the way to the consciousness. So, number one, I lie down on bed, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, all these 5 perceptions are gone. I slip into dreams, very clear dreams. Yeah? Mostly things I discussed during the day, mostly whatever I saw a movie I wanted to do, I couldn't do something, maybe some fear, some aversion, I slip into that dream. What does this mean? In that dream, I can see, I can smell, I can taste, I can touch, I can hear. That means perception of sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell is nothing but a thought. I don't need the external physical world to perceive. You do not need an external physical world to use sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. Yeah? Perception is simply a thought. Perception is internal, not external. So this will help open up that point which the scientist said in the Science World video, that perception is inside out. Perception is not outside in. It is not that there is a computer and I am perceiving the computer. It is not outside in. It is inside out. You might say that what I am seeing is black, and maybe others also see my computer as a black computer. You never know that maybe you are seeing grey, but you've learned to call grey as black since a child. And maybe the other person sees red and has learned to call red as black since his childhood. You have no idea what the person is seeing in the external. Perception is inside out, not outside in. Yeah? That is why in my dream I can smell, I can taste, I can touch, I can hear, I can see. I do not need the external physical world to use sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Yeah? So you're making your journey back. You're saying, yes, perception is really nothing but a thought. It's called perception only when eyes are open and it is of the external world. Once I close my eyes, I'm in my dream, it's nothing but a thought. So perception is nothing but a thought. This is the beginning of the reverse journey. Now, second, you have not only closed the eyes to the external world, you have closed the eyes to your own physical body. But in dream, I still experience my physical body in the form of sensations. Maybe here I am flying over the city, so I have the excitement and I'm feeling that excitement in my body. Yeah, so I have those sensations. So this again brings out the truth that sensation is nothing but a thought. I do not need an external physical world which contains my external physical body to experience sensations. I can experience the sensations in my dream, which is in the mind. So perception is simply a thought and sensation is simply a thought. You have closed your eyes to your physical body. You have withdrawn from the external physical body. Yes. So what does that mean? I have withdrawn from the assumption I am the body in the world, and I have come to the assumption I am the mind. So now we are done with perception and sensation. Now let's look at thought. Now you are in this dream state. In the dream state, there's perception of the five senses. There's perception of that beautiful city over which the dream character is flying. So there's perception of sight. Yeah? She's enjoying that. So the perception is there, and there is a corresponding physical sensation in the body, maybe excitement. Wow, this is so beautiful. So that excitement is there, that physical sensation plus the physical sensation of flying. So there is a corresponding feeling or emotion also that you experience, the joy, you like it, you're happy. So the perception is felt in the dream, the sensation in the body is felt, and the feeling or the emotion is felt. Now examine carefully. What is perception? Thought in the form of images is equal to perception. And what is a physical sensation? The flying excitement. It is thought in the form of a feeling. Yes, and the joy, the happiness in the mind, again a thought in the form of another emotion. So there is nothing but thought. Honestly, in my experience, all that I am experiencing is thought. This is only thought. So is it clear? Everything has boiled down to thought. Perception is thought, sensation is thought, feeling is thought. Everything has boiled down to one single thing, thought. You have moved from the waking state to the dreaming state, and you have realized that all dreams are nothing but thought. Now, as this dream state progresses, it's very blurry. Everything starts becoming blurred. There is no proper image, there is no proper sound, no proper words, no proper sentence construction, nothing. Everything becomes blurry. And then finally, everything just vanishes into a sense of I am. There is still the sense of I am, yeah, but I didn't want to put a diagram for it. It's just a sense of I am. Consciousness is conscious of itself. I am aware that I am aware. I am that I am. This moment where I, the consciousness, am conscious, this is called Madhyakal. In many scriptures you have done before. It's not something new that you're doing it first time, but such a detailed explanation was never given before. This is called Madhyakal in all the scriptures. Yeah. Just that moment between that stage where the I am body, mind, and just the sense of I, and before it collapses to the pure nothingness, Madhyakal. The time in between is the literal translation. Yeah? This happens twice a day. It's in the scriptures mentioned as an auspicious moment because in this moment you can get enlightened. Yeah? For some time there is just this simple sense of I am, and as there is nothing more to know, there is no prameya, the knower, the pramata or the chid or the knowingness now starts to rest. The I thought collapses. The sense of I am collapses. And then there is no thingness. Simply the beingness is. Simply Sat. And this Sat is called pure consciousness by Adi Shankaracharya. It is called primordial awareness by Nisargadatta Maharaj. And by Sri Ramana Maharshi, it is called Turyatita. Clear? So this is Ajatavada in a capsule. There is only the consciousness. Nothing else exists. The father of Ajatavada is Gaudapada. Gaudapada was the guru of Sri Adi Shankaracharya. Yeah? Gaudapada was the father of Ajatavada. If you were to ask Gaudapada, you say everything is consciousness, but what about this world? He will say, what world? What world? Only consciousness is.